Welcome to I'm an Asset podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Breanne Smith.
And I'm your other host, Zachary Wilson. Today we're going to be talking about, kind of the end of the soccer season and some other soccer-related stuff, because that's a big part of my life. And so let's hop right into it.
Very good. Well, I first of all want to, just because it happened last night, I would love to hear about the award ceremony that you were in attendance last night.
Let's start with that. So at the end of the year, I don't know if other soccer clubs do this. I know my school's soccer team kind of has a form of this, but for this club I play for, at the end of the year, all in one night, they go through all the kids' teams, all the way up to the teenagers and the highest level, the highest age group team, which is, 18, maybe 19-year-olds in our league or our club. So, got a bunch of kids kind of sitting in the front row, some parents in the back, but there were so many people there. Some of us had to stand, but it was fine. And we kind of just...
Was there food at this event?
There was no food.
Oh.
That would have been
Better.
Nightmare.
Oh, nightmare.
I don't know. I feel like... How do we feel about food at functions like that?
In my opinion, like if you're going to ask people to sit through like a ceremony like that, for a long period of time, there should be refreshments. Mm-hmm. Also, since it's an award ceremony, when you do one at school, there's always like refreshments and some kind of cake or celebration dessert afterwards.
For a bit of comparison, at my school, it's just our team. It's just our team. And it's not even JV. It's just varsity. Mm-hmm. So that cuts out even more people. And there's probably like 20, 25 people there max. Mm-hmm. But at this thing, you have like everybody, and it has to be in an auditorium. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you had to provide food for everyone, it'd be like...
I'm just talking about a sheet cake and coffee. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah. But it was great. Everyone got their piece. So, every coach got to go up and talk about, the struggles and challenges they faced. But also, the improvement of the players and just the experience coaching them. And they also got to pick an MVP, whether it be the most improved or, the best sportsmanlike, most sportsmanlike, or maybe just the best player.
Do you think, like, from your perspective as a teammate, do you want an award ceremony at the end of soccer season? Like, do you need that closure at the end of a season?
I'm going to say yeah, because there's, you have all your games and you're kind of just playing every week and you're kind of used to that. And, there's the playoffs and there's the championship. And then even after that, even after the league is over, there's some kind of tournaments that you can still do and go to as a club. And, do college showcases, some scouts might see you at those. Mm-hmm. But you never really know, like, which game is going to be your last, because they're, like, a majority of is in the beginning of the year, and then it's kind of dotted out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people only play until the league is over, and then they're gone. And some other people will stick around until all the tournaments are over. So it's kind of good to have an event that's not dedicated to actually playing, where we can all kind of
say bye,
take a breather and say, bye.
Oh, okay.
Especially the seniors, I don't really think it'd be good for your last experience with the team to be just playing your heart out in your last game, but maybe like just, I think it is good to have.
Good. Okay.
And in my case, I injured my ankle, which we might as well talk about that. I injured my ankle at the very end of the season, so I missed a couple of games, but, I got to play a majority of the season, so if it had to happen, it was at a good spot. And so I didn't know the last game I played was going to be my last club game. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't like super upset about it because I still have a whole school season ahead of me. And I already had that registered as like my last soccer with a team gonna. I might play in college. We've already talked about this a little bit, intramural and whatnot. But you know, in high school, it's different, and that had already been like the last thing I was gonna do. So
right now you're just trying to get better to get ready for school soccer.
Yeah, I've been going to PT, and I hope it gets better. I've been told I have to wear a brace the first couple of games, which I don't like, because it's not that the brace itself bothers me, but that means, you know, my physical therapist doesn't think it'll be fully recovered
Ready.
by the time the season is starting. And it's not even that. It's just I have like a high ankle sprain, and apparently those really last a long time. Every time you sprain your ankle, it tears the ligaments, and it's just easier to sprain the next time.
Yeah.
So
it'll just give you some more
that's not fun, but
structure around your ankle to help not re-injure it maybe as you're getting better.
I hope I can build some muscle in it too. And that kind of thing happens in life, you know. Sometimes you hit speed bumps, and you know, I don't see why it happened, but I'm gonna accept it. I'm sure it'll work out in the end.
Yeah, well, I think you've had some success with physical therapy in the past from soccer injuries, so hopefully this will be just as good and
Yeah, I hope
help you out.
So, just for the sake of it, have you ever in high school, have you ever had any injuries, or did you have any breaking of bones or stuff like that in your life?
Yeah, actually, I have. I was a cheerleader in high school, and my senior year was thrown up in a basket toss. Do you know what that is? Where a bunch of people gather around and they put their hands all together like this, and then they throw you really high in the air, and you do a toe touch, and then you come down.
You did that?
I used to do that.
You were like the really light girl they did that? Because I notice every girl that they have on a team it's always like the smallest one.
I am actually pretty tall for a cheerleader.
I was gonna say.
But yeah, I was one of the lighter ones, yes. But that was the last time I ever let them throw me in the air, was because one particular time my senior year, they dropped me. And I actually still have a lower back struggle from that I've figured out how to manage through stretching and walking, and certain ways I exercise and certain ways I pick up things. I've also had 3 children, which did a little bit of a number on my lower back. So in high school, after that happened, it did take some time for me to recover, and I wouldn't let anybody throw me in the air anymore. So I became a base, which is I would hold people and throw people in the air. So
now you're going to throw. Now, when you say they dropped you, was it all their fault, or was it a little bit of your fault? You don't have to answer this if you don't want.
I don't actually know, because they always caught me. So I'm not sure why this time they didn't catch me. But somebody slipped. Somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do. And, you know, it is the people who throw you in the air, it is their responsibility to get you.
That is crazy to think about, that you let kind of other people, other young people kind of just throw you like that with the risk of injury.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened, but
I don't think I knew that.
There's also kind of a trust factor there after that. Yeah. But I finished out my senior year. I was one of the captains of the cheerleading squad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I did that, and
was my sister a captain?
She was not, I don't think, but she
did a lot of stuff.
She actually got a lot of, they didn't call it captain in dance, but your sister's been dancing since she was so little. She had, some leadership type roles in the for ballet when she was in ballet. But yeah, no, it does. It stinks. And also, just thinking about your injury, I actually have been a little bit under the weather this week, And I never get sick. Like, can you remember the last time I've been sick? It's
I
been
know.
years and
Yeah.
years. So the last couple of days I've been working from home so as not to get anybody in the office sick. And today was my first day back. And it really does set you back a little bit when
Yeah.
you're physically down like that. And it's very mentally frustrating because it's like your mind wants to do what you need to be doing, but you can't physically do it. And that's hard.
Yeah, because I noticed, you know, I'm gonna lose my conditioning when I can't run right now, and that's really bugging me.
Well,
I want to be running.
I haven't told you this yet. I did tell your brother this the other day, but you know how at the beginning of the year, this last year, I did 75 hard, which is like a personal challenge, you know, personal physical challenge. And we're going to do it again this year. And Michael's thinking about maybe doing it too. So if you can spend the next few weeks trying to get your ankle better, maybe you can do 75 hard with us.
We'll see what happens, but no promises.
It'll be a family affair.
Because I like to eat. Does it involve like fasting?
No, it doesn't involve fasting.
Are there any type of dietary restrictions?
Only the ones that you put on yourself. And we should spend maybe even a whole episode just talking about challenges like this and why they, not necessarily just this one, but why doing something like this might help you or, you know, get you to your goal in a consistent, disciplined way. But 75 Hard was created by a guy named Andy Frisella, who has a podcast, who, if you're interested in hearing all about it, it's episode 14 that he goes into detail about it. And it's really, really inspiring and good. And there's definitely rules, but it's 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside. You got to drink a gallon of water a day. The diet part of it is you just have to stick to a diet. It's not a particular diet. You just have to decide, this is what I'm going to do, and then you stay consistent with it. With me, I was trying to hit 100 grams of protein every day, and that's actually kind of challenging when you don't normally think of protein like that. So that was my goal every day, was to hit, and I had a tracker, and I was tracking all of that. So there's some other things that you got to do too, but there's a really cool app. It's very motivating, and when I was done with it, I did complete it. I missed it. I missed that structure of it every day. So anyway, so I'm kind of looking forward to doing it again, and I'll let you know.
I think I might do it with you, and I'll probably do the seafood diet.
The seafood diet?
For those at home that don't know what a seafood diet is, it's if you see food, you eat it. And you can use that joke anytime you'd like to ruin a dinner party. So that's cool. I do like that. And, you know, the New Year's resolutions are coming up. One Lent, I did no like soft drinks. I did not like that. And that included the diet ones, because it wasn't, you know, just about the health, but it was like about I don't know what it was about. Why did I do that?
I don't know. I think when you don't, you know, soda is not really necessarily the best for you. So, and when you know that it's not the best for you, when you try to give up something, you typically try to give up something that's not good for you.
Last year, for New Year's, it did not last long. It lasted like a week. I used a calculator on like my fitness or whatever, and calculated, I wanted to get some more muscle mass, which, as you can see, obviously worked. I forgot to talk about why I'm wearing this sweater, now that I mentioned that. This is for school.
You are wearing a tacky Christmas sweater
today.
Very good.
Go Star Wars. So, back to what I was saying. And I calculated how much I put in like my body weight and my height and how much muscle mass I was looking to gain or whatever. And it wasn't even that much. Like I don't think it was a lot at all. And it was like, you got to eat 200 grams of protein a day. It was like 230 something.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
What?
That's a lot.
And then I tried to find the food to do it. It's like not possible.
Unless you're eating like steak at every meal.
Just steak and egg whites every meal.
It is actually very possible. And once I figured out how to efficiently get a lot of protein in my diet without, eating gobs and gobs of food. It works out really well, and it actually did work because I also do Pilates on a regular basis. So it helped me maintain my muscle structure while I had been increasing my exercise, and got really toned up too. So I think it's a nice plan when you can come up with something that works for you. This is my favorite time of year to reflect on how I did with my goals, and then what my goals are for next year. Can we do, before the end of the year, can we do a conversation like that where we reflect on our goals for this year and what our goals for next year are going to be?
Should it be on the podcast?
Of course it should be.
Okay, then,
yes.
Well, the answer was going to be yes anyway, but yes, we should do that. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I think that's good. Is that related to being an accountant at all? Like, and
Planning?
a year rolling around and looking back at everything?
I don't think it has anything to do with being an accountant. More so it has to do with just having a growth mindset and always wanting to grow and level up. And if you really are not aiming at any particular target, you're most definitely not going to hit it. So I'm always trying to set what targets I'm going for. And that really helps you figure out like what you say yes and no to, because if somebody asks you for some help on something or to do something, or if you want to participate in something, but it really has no benefit whatsoever in helping you either, number one, achieve your goal, or number two, relationally, maybe it doesn't really make a difference, then that's going to be something you should say no to. And then say yes to the things that help you get further and closer to your target.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely important to keep moving on in your life. If you just remain idle, then and stagnant, you're not going to improve. And I feel like everyone should always want to get better. I can't speak for everyone and their desires, but I think generally everyone wants to be better.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I think about the end of the year, and it doesn't have to be this way, there's also a really good book called The 12-Week Year, which we could talk about when we do our planning. But everybody thinks of the end of the year as like a deadline. So a lot of people achieve their, revenue goals in the last quarter of the year, or they really, close on the deals they've been waiting on in the last month of the year. And that's because people see 12/31 as a finish line of some sorts. And then January 1 being like it's a new feeling and start of a new set of goals. So it's really good idea to take advantage of that feeling of finishing out strong and starting ready and organized and thoughtful in the next year.
I like that. I like that it's like that. Well, we got through a lot today, and we'll definitely hit those other topics in the future. Thank you guys for watching.
We'll see you next time.